So a few days ago, Americans celebrated their independence, also known as 4th of July, and we saw all the embarrassing videos from the usual suspects crying and moaning about how they will never celebrate such a holiday, how America is everything wrong, everything horrible and disgusting. But yet, these same guys have refused to vacate this disgusting, horrible country and move to a better, pure, saint-like country. Now they gobble up all that America has to offer, starting from their EBT to their welfare programs to the freedom and the rights they enjoy in America, which, by the way, they will never get in any other country of the world.
Tomorrow's the 4th of July, so it's just a friendly reminder to black people this ain't our goddamn holiday. Don't you be out there buying them fireworks, wearing no goddamn stars and stripes.
I don't celebrate the 4th of July anymore. I can't celebrate a holiday that's supposed to represent the Declaration of Independence in a country that still struggles to live up to it.
I'm confused. Why y'all celebrating the 4th? People talking about the 4th, about cookouts and hanging out. And why y'all, who free? What country y'all celebrating?
I already think it's a stretch for us as black people to be celebrating the 4th of July. But where I draw the line at is seeing y'all black asses outside wrapped in an American flag. Being outside in red, white, and blue is insane to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Well, they couldn't stop with all the hate videos about how they detest America and will never ever celebrate 4th of July. I just refused to make a video on their childish whinings and crying about 4th of July simply because I did not want to give these fatigue generators any more attention than they deserve, right? Because I know that all they do all of these things, all of these shenanigans because they just want attention. They enjoy being the center of attention, and I don't want to give them that. If not, how do you explain how only 13% of the population always manage to be the one causing all the ruckus and all the problems every single time? Well, I deny them that attention, but now, with their latest stunt, they have somehow managed to gain that attention from me once again. At this point, I give it to them, guys. I do. They are good at, getting attention. They are good at seeking attention and getting it. They have very good tactics for this attention seeking. Very insufferable bunch of idiots. Of course, I'm not talking about all of them, only the degenerate ones, okay? Now, this picture shows nothing but a bunch of white men in some type of organization taking the train and a black woman sitting on a train seat. There is nothing violent or criminal going on in this photo, but somehow fatigue generators are having full mental breakdown over this photo. I kid you not. These guys are melting down, freaking out, going absolutely crazy over this simple photo. Their reason, extremely laughable, best described as no reason at all. But before we get into it, guys, let me give you some context about this whole thing. Now, this photo shows a group of men from a group called Patriot Front, okay, which is basically a group of male patriots who love their country, right? They marched to the US Capitol Hill celebrating 4th of July, waving different flags, different variations of the US flag, right? There was no disruptive public display. It was all simply an organized parade to show their love for their country, right? Now, after the celebrations, they boarded the train and dispersed to their various destinations. Now, this photo was from one of the trains they boarded. In it, you can see some of the men seated, some of them standing, and in the photo, we can also see a black woman taking the same train. Now, this photo has been turned into something quite sinister by the fatigue generators, so let us give them the attention they obviously need, and let us see what the fuss is all about. Watch.
This image that you see right now is not bravery. What it is a picture of someone who probably started off their day, decided to run some errands, go to work, whatever the hell it is that they needed to do, and they got on a public transportation system in Washington, D.C., looked up at some point and realized they were surrounded by white supremacists as a black woman. What do you do at that point? How do you react? Where do you go? You can't get off the train because you're literally surrounded. You would need to part the sea of white supremacists. You would need to part the sea of people who want you dead to get off of this train. If you get loud and tell them to go fuck themselves, you might end up dead. So what do you do in this situation? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, white nationalists just stormed Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. on July 4th, 2026, America's 250th anniversary. While scrolling, I saw the story being reported by Aaron Parnas, who could not even say that she was a black woman. He literally says they want people like her. People like her. The fact that she's a black woman is extremely relevant to the terror and the fear that she would have been feeling in that moment. Bravery implies facing something with no fear. Actually, look at the picture of this woman. Does she look like she isn't scared? Bravery implies a choice. It implies facing something with no fear. Not only does she look terrified, but this was not her choice. Flattening her emotions in this moment down to bravery creates a story of heroes and villains instead of naming it what it is. The continued victimization of citizens in this country that is allowed to happen because you are apathetic. This isn't bravery. This is what surviving terrorism looks like on a daily basis.
This image captures why it's so hard for black people to be all out and proud when it comes to cheering on America, because on the day that's supposed to commemorate American democracy, we have the traitors to American democracy, white supremacists, out there protesting what America is supposed to be about. In theory, America is a place in which people have rights, in which people are seen as human beings, in which people are seen as a part of a community based around democracy, based around participation, based around fairness. But in practice, that's never been the case for black people, certainly in the United States, but most people in the United States. At the time at which the Declaration of Independence was signed, slavery still existed, right? Slavery existed for another 100 years. It just gets so frustrating as a black American who loves being a black American to then have to see patriotism, the flag, and the idea of America be co-opted and taken over by white supremacists, by the traitors, by the people who stood against everything that America says that it supports. This one image captures the position of black Americans, and it's really quite sad, actually.
Insufferable doesn't even cut it. I am so fatigued by these guys. I am beyond fatigued. And mind you, there are several videos of these guys moaning about this picture. I just picked the most reasonable ones to show you guys, because most of the videos that we are making, we are full of errant rubbish. Most of the videos were just plain. Now, this is what I call manufactured outrage on steroids. Creating problems where there is none. Making a mountain out of a molehill. Now, these men have been immediately named white supremacists by the fatigue generators and the leftist media, just because they flew the American flag on 4th of July and committed the horrific crime of taking the same train as a black woman and allowing her to go home safely. I mean, make it make sense. Aren't white supremacists supposed to discriminate from black people? If so, why then did they ride the same train as a black woman? It's not adding up. These men also committed the grave crime of conducting themselves respectfully on that train. You can see that the black woman in the picture was not flanked by white men on each side of the seat. She was given personal space. So these white supremacists made the mistake of not suffocating her and sandwiching her in between them on that seat. They also forgot to do to her what was done to Irina Zaruska. I'm sure you get what I mean. No harm was done to that black woman. Nobody accosted her. Nobody assaulted her verbally or physically. Nobody paid her any attention. In fact, these men minded their business, simply took a train home. But somehow, we are supposed to be enraged because they made the mistake of taking a train back home. My goodness.
You can't get off the train because you're literally surrounded. You would need to part the sea of white supremacists. You would need to part the sea of people who want you dead to get off of this train.
How does she get off the train? Well, she didn't have any problem getting off the train because, breaking news, she did not spend the night in the train. Did she? She got to her stop and she got off and went home safely, like every normal human being who is not obsessed with rage farming would do. How do you part the sea of people who want you dead? Oh my God. Well, nobody killed her. Nobody did anything to hurt her. She did not need to part the sea of anybody. She just went off the train. Unlike what was done to Irina Zaruska. on that fateful day on that Charlotte train. The Irina Zaruska case was a real case for alarm because that innocent young woman who just took a train with a black man sitting behind her ended up getting gruesomely murdered in cold blood by that black man. But we did not see these guys come out to cry about how horrific the incident was. Okay? They were all crickets. They all turned a blind eye to that horror. But this time, when there was actually no incident to be walked up about, we have them crying victimhood and all sorts of nonsensical made-up narrative they can conjure. Don't you people ever get tired of all this rubbish? Don't you guys get tired of all this nonsense? 1 minute you're screaming F America, you're screaming F 4th of July, and the next minute you see people who actually love their country, who love it enough to go out and celebrate it with the country's flag. Then you start looking for something to complain and moan about. You saw a photo of a black woman taking the train alongside other human beings, and somehow you turn it into something that it is not. Oh, this black woman was horribly oppressed and victimized simply because she rode the train with other Americans. The next thing you guys are going to do is to start a GoFundMe for her to compensate her for the fake oppression and the fake racism she went through while riding that train. You guys are messed up in the head. Like, you should really seek help, because at this point, guys, you people are mentally challenged. You need help because this is not normal. It is not normal. And I'm telling you this as a fellow black person. You guys are so obsessed with victimization and oppression and racism that you literally see all these things in every corner of the society you look at. I know it's not all of you, but some of you, you need help. There is literally no way to appease some black individuals. If these men have left this train on sighting this black woman seated there, these fatigue generators will still cry discrimination. Oh, this is Jim Crow all over again. But even after these men rode the same train with the black woman, they still cried victimhood. Oh, this is oppression. This is racism. How dare they inconvenience this black woman? They should have vacated the train so she can ride home alone. You can never win with this sort of black people. You can never win, okay? They are so problematic and so degenerate, and they will always complain of what you do, no matter what it is, as long as you are white. You can never please them. So I guess we just come to terms with the fact that fatigue generators will always create fatigue, no matter what happens. By the way, happy belated 4th of July to every real American who takes pride in their country, which happens to be the greatest country in the whole world. But as always, guys, these are my thoughts and my opinions. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or buy me a coffee if you like, as a way of supporting the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now, peace.